everyone, thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a new subscription that we just started a couple months ago. It is Gobble, gobble.com. It is a food delivery service. I'm pretty sure by now you've heard of something like it. There are other companies like HelloFresh and Blue Apron. There are commercials on TV, and we decided to do Gobble because one of my girlfriends was subscribed to it already, and I was watching her Snapchats and I was so interested in getting it because the food looked so delicious, and she said that it only takes about 10 minutes to make. So I try to cook meals, dinners, about, I don't know, maybe, well, I'd love to try and cook 5 days a week, but sometimes that's a little bit hard. So I try to shoot for about 3 to 4 days a week, and then it's great because we'll have some leftovers so we can eat those for either lunch or for the next night's dinner. But I started really trying to reach for different recipes. Going online and pulling recipes from like Pinterest is really great, but I wanted to try something like Gobble because all of the ingredients are included. You've got the meat that you're going to prepare that night, and then all you have to do is prepare it and cook it, and then you can serve it, and it's supposed to take about 10 minutes. I'm just going to explain to you from beginning to end what it's been like for us. I was able to use a promotion which allowed us to get one free box, which was 6 meals, which for us would be 3 nights of dinner. You can select to have more meals included. You can also include desserts and drinks. And on their website, you can select what you want to receive, whether you want to receive strictly fish, no red meats. If you are a vegetarian, you can select vegetarian meals. And even if you're not, you can select certain items that you want to receive. Then they give you a selection of meals that you can choose from. We have a deadline when we can choose our meals. So I go online and make sure that we have exactly what we want depending on their list of food items. Once that's selected, everything is set, and they tell you when your box is going to be shipped. When it comes to your door, it's in a box and everything is insulated with ice packs in them. And I've noticed that they put all the meats at the bottom closest to the ice, which is obviously safer. And what I like to do is once the box is at our house, refrigerate everything that I'm going to cook immediately, and then freeze everything else that I'm going to cook in a couple of days. The veggies are fresh veggies and I don't want to freeze them. I can just easily put those in the refrigerator and then freeze everything else, like the meats that I'm not going to be cooking right away, in the freezer. And then when it's time to cook, I just pull whatever I'm going to cook and lay it on the table. They give you these really cool recipe cards with exactly what you need to have pulled out from your kitchen to use, like cutting boards, knives, cooking spoons, plates, paper towels, etc. And then it also gives you step-by-step photos on how you're going to prepare the meal and what it should look like. And then obviously the recipe on how to prepare everything. This was the first meal that I decided to cook because it was the ahi tuna. My husband absolutely loved it. This was the make or break deal, and this was the first meal I made and he absolutely loved it, so we decided to keep it. It says it takes about 10 minutes to cook, which for me, I have 2 kids, so it's not going to take 10 minutes for me because I have to stop once in a while and tend to one of them or give them something or stop, or, you know, just make sure that the kitchen is safe for my child who's running around and not, you know, putting the knives on the counter really close. So I have to take a little bit more time to cook the dinner, but it doesn't take that much longer than 10 minutes. It could take maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes. This meal here was much shorter to prepare because I didn't have to cook the fish, but there's times where you're gonna have to use a saute pan and then put it in the oven, but they tell you ahead of time how to prepare everything. So, you know, set the oven and then put the oil in the pan and let that heat up. So everything is really clear on the directions on how to prepare everything in a timely manner. And then it also tells you how to plate everything. So it ends up looking like a gourmet meal that you would receive at a restaurant, which is amazing. I mean, if you are not used to cooking and you start whipping these out, and especially if you're dating somebody, or if you have a roommate, or if you're married and you start putting these on a plate, they're gonna be so impressed. And it's not like you are not making these from scratch. It's just that you didn't have to go to the store and get all of the ingredients. All of the ingredients are already put in a bag for you to use in your cooking. So it's pretty much a homemade meal. And what I love about this program is that everything is included, so you're not overbuying, vegetables or other ingredients so that they go to waste, or you have to figure out, okay, what am I going to make next that has these same ingredients? Everything is pretty much proportioned. It is plenty of food. We have found, because obviously my husband is much bigger than me, so he's going to eat more than me. So we find sometimes that he's, a little bit more hungry at the end of dinner. So I'll give him either a little bit more of my food, or I'll make him something else. So that is a little bit of an issue when it comes to feeding, a grown man. But if you are, eating smaller portions, or if you are wanting to eat smaller portions, like not necessarily dieting, but you don't want to overeat, these are really great because everything is proportioned. I also like the fact that if you want to recreate these dinners, you can keep the recipe card and know exactly how much you need to purchase for your recipes. It doesn't give you here exactly what the portion sizes are for the ingredients, but you can easily write it down when you're preparing it for your meal. You can just write it on the recipe card, like how many potatoes, how many, how much meat, or how much vegetables or rice that you have. You can just easily write that down here and then make it again. Now, I did ask my girlfriend if they do repeat meals. And so, for example, this Aloha Ahi Poke Tuna Bowl, if this would come back on to your meal selections. And she said that from the time that she's been doing the Gobble meals, she hasn't seen anything repeat in her, online for her as a selection. So I guess I understand that like you are going to be trying new things and they want you to try new recipes and everything, but it would be really nice to be able to select something, request something that you've had before, and just really easily, have it sent to you rather than going out and buy it. So we found that to be a little bit of an issue. It's not horrible because we've been trying out really cool entrees, and the flavors that they have for these meals, they're amazing. When you go out to eat and you get a new dish, or you go out and try like an ethnic type of restaurant, for example, these samosa tacos, I remember having these, something very, very similar when we went to Fiji. They had these fish tacos that were the best fish tacos I've ever had in my entire life. And unfortunately, I don't know how to recreate it, but this came super, super close. The flavors of the sauce that they include in a lot of these meals, something that I can't recreate, or I just don't really know like how to make it or where to buy it if it's pre-made. But we are so lucky to have these meals because we get to enjoy all of these amazing flavors. This is one of my favorite meals that we have had here. And this was a vegetarian meal, but it was so just meaty. The vegetables in it were so meaty that it didn't miss any meat, and the flavors were just incredible. So incredible. This is one of the ones that I would love to have us shipped again, but again, I don't know if they do that. So some other meals I have here are it's a chicken korma, and then we also received a pan roasted chicken, and then we had also a vegetable and tofu yakisoba noodle stir fry. And then another one here is the Peruvian steak stir fry. And unfortunately for us, we found that the red meat dishes that we received, these are just a few of the meals. A lot of the recipe cards I still have downstairs, but I just grabbed these to film this video. So unfortunately, some of the red meats that we received were a bit chewy. We don't eat a lot of red meats in our family, so when we do, we make sure it's a really good cut of meat, because I personally don't like to have chewy meat, and neither does my husband. He actually hates it. So we decided from here on out we weren't going to be receiving any more red meat. And if we received a vegetarian dish that we think, oh, this would be really good with red meat, I would just go to the store and add it to the dish. Same thing with any of these other vegetable dishes or vegetarian dishes. If you decide, hey, I really want that flavor, but I'm not a vegetarian, you can easily add fish or chicken or any type of meat that you want in the dish. If you follow me on Snapchat, which is Casual Coco, you can add me and you can see me make these meals 3 days a week, 3 nights a week, and you can see me do the prep from beginning to end. I usually try and do that on my Snapchat and plate them and everything and see how close I can get to making it look like this. They deliver around the same time each day, so I know when to be home to get them, but they are in insulated boxes with the ice in them, so I wouldn't necessarily leave them, you know, all day, especially if you know you're going to be gone for most of the day if you work. You can select the day of the week that you want them delivered, but you can't select the time. They're going to give you a time frame when they're delivered, so be mindful of that. If you live in a condo, if they have a front desk person that they can drop it off at, I would do that. Or if you don't have that service, you might want to maybe contact a neighbor and let them know to check up on your front door so that they can either put it in their house temporarily until you get home. I would hate for your box to be stolen. That's just awful. I know that happens, so just be mindful of that. If you subscribe to a food delivery service, let me know which one you subscribe to and how you feel about it. We'd like to try another type of delivery service, so I'd love to hear your feedback. And that is it. Again, if you have any questions, leave them down below. Hopefully you tune into my Snapchat to check out these delicious meals, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.